At the beginning of the story, we see a man named John who lives with his wife and young son. Their son is a diabetic patient, and John's relationship with his wife is not very good. They often argue and don't get along well. Today is their son's birthday, and John decides that he will try to fix things. He plans to go home, talk calmly with his wife, and avoid any kind of argument. When he reaches home, he sees his wife working out. John goes to her and talks nicely, which makes their son very happy to see his parents getting along. Soon their neighbors arrive at the house for the birthday. At that moment, a breaking news report appears on TV. The news says that a comet has entered Earth's orbit and is expected to crash into the Bermuda Triangle. When it hits, the shockwaves could spread across a large distance. John steps outside the house, and suddenly a powerful gust of wind hits him. This wind is caused by the comet that has just fallen into the ocean. The impact is so strong that it throws John to the ground. The windows and glass doors of his house shatter instantly. Inside the house, all the neighbors become terrified. Everyone realizes that something terrible is about to happen. Just then, John receives an important message on his phone. The message says that his family has been selected for a special shelter, a secure location where people can survive the disaster. When the neighbors find out about this, they are not happy at all. They believe everyone deserves safety, not just a few selected people. Angry and upset, they leave John's house. After that, John and his wife pack their belongings and prepare to leave with their son. As they start driving away, one of their neighbors suddenly stops the car and begs John to take her daughter with them. But John knows he cannot do that, so he is forced to drive away. Eventually, they arrive at the airport, where security is extremely tight. The entire area is surrounded by soldiers and military personnel. Only the people who were selected for the shelter are allowed to enter. John and his family manage to get inside. But suddenly John remembers something important. He forgot his son's insulin medication in the car. He tells his wife to board the plane with their son, while he quickly goes back to bring the medicine. John rushes back to the parking area to get the medication. Meanwhile, his wife doesn't want to board the plane without him. She tells an army officer that her husband went to get their son's medicine and asks if they can wait there until he returns. But this turns out to be a huge mistake. The rules say that patients are not allowed on the plane. Because their son is diabetic, the officer takes them away to another area. Soon John returns with the medicine and reaches the airport. But when he looks around, his wife and son are nowhere to be found. Confused and worried, John searches everywhere and even goes inside the plane, but he still cannot find them. Then an army officer notices the insulin in John's hand and asks who it belongs to. John replies that it's for his son. The officer immediately explains that patients are not allowed on the plane. At that moment, John realizes the truth. His wife and son were not allowed to board. John tries to leave the plane to find them, but the soldiers refuse to let him go. They tell him that no one can enter or exit the plane anymore. Outside the airport, chaos has already begun. Hundreds of desperate people rush toward the plane, hoping to save their lives. The army tries to stop them and even fires shots, but nothing works. Panic spreads everywhere. During the chaos, fuel starts leaking from a tanker, which causes a massive fire. Soon, one of the planes explodes in a huge blast. From a distance, John's wife and son see the explosion. They have no idea whether John survived or not. Thinking that John might be dead, she writes a note saying that she is taking their son to her mother's house. She sticks the note inside their car and leaves. Later, John reaches the car and finds the note. After reading it, he understands that his wife went to her mother's house, so he decides to go there to find them. Meanwhile, John's wife asks a man for a ride, and he agrees to help them. During the drive, the man asks where they came from. She explains that they were chosen for a shelter, but because her son is diabetic, they were not allowed on the plane. She also tells him that she got separated from her husband. When the man hears that they were selected for the shelter, he suddenly changes his attitude. He says they should go back to the airport, but John's wife refuses. She explains that there was already a huge explosion there, and it's too dangerous to return. However, the man suddenly forces her out of the car and drives away with her son, kidnapping him. At the same time, John continues searching for his family. On the way, he witnesses another comet hitting the Earth, causing a massive explosion. It is revealed that many more comets are heading toward Earth, and one of them is so huge that it could destroy the entire planet. Eventually, John reaches a military truck that is heading toward Canada. Coincidentally, his wife's father lives there, so John decides to ride along in the truck. Inside the truck, he meets a young man who tells him about a secure survival base called Greenland. Only certain people have been chosen to go there, people who can help rebuild civilization in the future. John himself is an architect, which is why his family was selected. The shelter is meant for people like doctors, engineers, and skilled workers who can help rebuild the world after the disaster. However, Another man on the truck notices that John is wearing a special wristband, which is basically a pass that allows entry to Greenland. Greedy for survival, the man tries to steal the wristband from John. The young man who was helping John tries to protect him, but he loses his life during the struggle. John barely manages to escape. Meanwhile, the man who kidnapped John's son arrives at the airport with his wife. Since the boy is wearing the wristband, they try to trick the army officer into believing that he is their child. But when the officer asks the boy, the child says he doesn't know them. The officer immediately understands the situation and takes the boy away from them. Around the same time, John's wife also arrives at the airport and finds her son again. She learns that he has already been given insulin and is safe with the doctors. The doctor tells her that a bus is leaving for Canada, so she decides to go there with her son. Meanwhile, John reaches his father-in-law's house, but neither his wife nor his son are there. Just when he starts losing hope, he receives a phone call from his wife, telling him that they are on their way to Canada. John immediately drives to meet them, and when he finally sees his wife and son again, he is overwhelmed with happiness. But he also warns them that a massive comet is about to hit Earth, which could wipe out the entire world. However, the army has built a hidden shelter in Greenland, and they must reach it if they want to survive. John's wife asks her father to come with them, but he refuses. He says he would rather spend his final moments with his friends. So John, his wife, and their son begin the dangerous journey toward the airport, hoping to reach the last flight to Greenland. Because of the massive waves, many people outside are killed. Meanwhile, the safety boat carrying John and his family keeps crashing into huge waves again and again. Luckily, this boat was specially designed to protect people in extreme ocean conditions, so it manages to survive the impact. After some time, the boat finally reaches an area where the water becomes calmer, and everyone inside breathes a sigh of relief. But John knows very well that the danger isn't over yet. A tsunami could hit the ocean at any moment. Their goal now is to reach London, although they have no clear idea about the route. The safety boat keeps moving across the ocean the whole day, but suddenly the engine stops working. Now they can only move forward with the help of the wind. That night, John's son looks up at the sky and sees many comets still floating near Earth's orbit. This means that comets are still falling on Earth, so the planet is far from safe. After traveling like this for 2 more days, they finally reach land. But when John looks carefully, he realizes that this place is actually London, and the entire city has sunk underwater. While searching for food and supplies, they notice that many other survivors are also living there. This makes them believe that there must be some kind of bunker nearby, just like the one they once stayed in. Soon they see military soldiers guarding an entrance. John's wife approaches them and asks if her family can enter the bunker. She still has her Greenland bunker pass, but John and their son don't have one. Because of that, the soldiers refuse to let them inside. Many other desperate people are also standing there, begging to enter. John's friend starts shouting that he is a doctor and deserves to be allowed inside, but unfortunately he lost his badge somewhere. Since he keeps shouting loudly, a soldier shoots him, and he dies on the spot. Right at that moment, another storm begins to form. John quickly grabs his family and runs away from the area. Suddenly a car appears on the road, and they ask the driver for help. The man agrees and takes them to a safer place away from the storm. But soon John notices something terrifying. Several comets are falling from the sky toward their direction. He tells everyone to hold tightly onto the nearby trees. Most of the comets pass by them, but unfortunately one comet crashes near the man who gave them the ride, killing him instantly. There is also a woman with them who is a doctor, and together they travel toward John's wife's aunt's house in London. Surprisingly, her aunt is still alive. Thanks to a strong air filtration system, the house is safe from the toxic environment outside. Several other survivors are also living there. The aunt becomes very happy to see them, and for the first time in a long time, everyone finally feels safe for the night. Later that night, John begins coughing badly. His wife comes to check on him, and John reveals something shocking. Radiation has already entered his body, and he doesn't have much time left to live. Before he dies, he wants to take his wife and son to the place where the first comet struck. They believe in a theory that the first impact site might still have life, possibly Greenland, clean water, and fresh air. The next morning, they prepare to leave again. Before they go, the aunt gives John a pistol so he can protect his family during the journey. They drive for the entire day without facing any major problem. But when night falls, 2 robbers suddenly attack them. During the attack, the doctor traveling with them is killed. John steps out of the car and shoots one robber, but the other one hides. John then realizes that his gun has run out of bullets. Just before the second robber fires at him, John's wife shoots the attacker from behind. She had picked up the gun dropped by the robber John killed earlier. After that, they bury the doctor and continue their journey. After driving for several hours through empty roads, They arrive at a strange location where many abandoned cars are parked. When they step outside, they are shocked. The ground ahead has split open, creating a massive deep canyon. The only way across is a thin rope bridge. Other survivors are also trying to cross it. John carefully leads his family onto the rope bridge, but strong winds begin blowing, making it extremely dangerous. Somehow they reach the middle of the canyon, where they must crawl forward using 2 narrow ladders. Suddenly the ground starts shaking again. The rope behind them breaks, causing several people to fall to their deaths. Then one of the ladders collapses, but a man jumps across to the other ladder at the last second. John realizes his son might lose balance, so he holds him tightly. In the end, John, his wife, and his son successfully cross the canyon. No one else survives the crossing. Now they continue toward the location where the first comet struck Earth. When they arrive nearby, they see that the land around them is completely burned, which means they are close to the impact site. Suddenly a man holding a rifle appears. John explains why they came there, and the man decides to help them. He takes them to his house and gives them food and clean water. The man explains that the place they are looking for really exists, and it is called the crater. But reaching it is extremely difficult because different groups are fighting each other nearby. Traveling by land is very dangerous. He shows them a map and says he knows a secret way to reach the crater. However, he asks for one condition. They must take his daughter with them. He gives John a photograph. In the photo, the man is standing with Commander Tom. He tells John to show this photo to a soldier at a checkpoint, and they will be allowed to pass. John thanks him, and then leaves with his family and the man's daughter. After driving for some time, they reach a checkpoint where many soldiers stop them. One soldier warns them that the land ahead is full of landmines and active war zones. The girl traveling with them explains in French that her father knows Commander Tom. After hearing this, the soldier agrees to escort them through the war zone. Gunfire echoes everywhere as they move forward during the night. Eventually, they manage to cross the battlefield and reach a military camp where Commander Tom was supposed to be. But an officer informs them that Commander Tom died the previous night. The officer tells them to turn back, but John refuses. He explains that he has traveled a long distance and that radiation is already spreading through his body. Before he dies, he wants to make sure his family reaches the safe place called the crater. Hearing this, the officer finally helps them. He points to a bus heading toward the crater and tells them to get on it. John, his family, and the girl board the bus. After traveling for several hours, they are close to their destination. But suddenly an explosion happens, and 2 bandits attack the bus. They begin killing passengers. One of the bandits enters the bus and orders everyone to step outside. John realizes that if they lose this bus, he will never reach the crater in time, especially with his condition getting worse. So he attacks the bandit inside the bus. Seeing this, the other passengers gather courage and kill the second bandit outside. Moments later, 2 gunshots are heard inside the bus. After a short time, John comes out. The bandit is dead, but John has also been shot. He is seriously wounded. John tells his wife to quickly drive toward the crater. Everyone gets into the vehicle and continues the journey. Soon they finally arrive at the location where the first comet supposedly crashed. They climb uphill on foot and discover something unbelievable. There is a huge hidden valley filled with green land, clear lakes, and fresh water. It looks like a completely untouched paradise. John feels happy knowing that his family and the girl will now be able to live a safe life here. But he cannot go any further. Right there, John collapses. John dies, but before taking his last breath, he succeeded in saving his family. And with that, the story of this film comes to an end.